What is going on, you guys? Costa here talking about the MLB. We're at the midseason, well, a little past the midseason after game 95, but the A's, we're at the All-Star break, and the A's are 2 games in front in the AL West. 2 games in front of the Rangers. This is huge. People said last year was a fluke. This was going to be a one-season wonder. You're going to fall back to earth because of a lucky season and a Josh Hamilton drop. Well, those people need to shut up. This team is for real. And we've learned that. This team has learned to hit well. Their pitching is above average. And they can close. They have one of the better bullpens in the league as well. And the biggest thing is depth. First of all, though, we'll talk about a few negatives so far this year. Couple things. One of them, Yoenis Cespedes, having a down season so far. I hope this is just a first half thing, and I hope he rebounds. Happy days in the home run derby, but I'm not one who's going to be so crazy and not about it, whatever happens to him. Cespedes, it is what it is. Hey, I hope he improves later. Good thing is he's always dangerous when he's at bat, but it's been a struggle so far. Other negatives, Adam Rosales. Haven't liked him too much, and he got DFA'd, thank goodness. He wasn't really meant to be a everyday shortstop, and he was being played way too much, and of course there's a reason for that. But there's way more positives, and of course the last of the really that's about the main thing about the negatives. A lot of positives though, and the biggest one, Bob Melvin. Platooning. We've been platooning with this team so much, but from Jaso and Norris to being a catcher, from Nate Fryman, who's been a really nice surprise and our good Rule 5 pickup, even though we claimed him off waivers from Houston. It's been good as a platoon with Brandon Moss at first. I know we were playing Sogard and Rosales as a platoon in the middle infield, with Jed Lowry taking the other spot. Another positive right there, Jed Lowry. And then in the outfield, on the occasion you'll see Chris Young, but the main 3 is Reddick, Cespedes, Crisp. We've learned those are our main 3. 3 guys from last year, the 3 guys who are the better of the 3, or of the outfield. Bench has been okay, but we've been seeing just good depth and good platooning. The bigger, of course, the other positives being Josh Donaldson. He's picked off where he was last year. If you watch the A's at the end of last year when he was called up after being sent down to AAA, and he was called up again in like August, he's been on fire, and he's kept that. Really good to see a guy pan out the way Donaldson has. Should have been an All-Star and hit. He even ended the last game before the All-Star break in great fashion, but you know what? He's feeding off of not being an All-Star and motivated for more, and I hope he feeds off of that. That's good to see. Other things, starting pitching's been good. It had a very slow start. I know the pitching statistically looks great right now, but the first couple months were not good. I'll be the first to admit that. Parker, slow start. Bartolo Colon's been the one consistent guy, and I hope he's not suspended, but we'll see what happens there. Our depth at pitching is going to need to be good. Straley, once again, slow start, but when he's on and he's striking out people, he's on. When he strikes out guys, it's beautiful to watch. Malone is an up and down middle of the rotation guy, and yeah, it's pretty much it there. I know the starters, it feels very, very automatic. I hope Sonny Gray someday will be part of that rotation. AJ Griffin, another guy. He has a few up and down moments. There are times he's really crapped the bed, and then there's other times he'll just be shutting them out or playing lights out. Just 1 or 2 innings, he'll have a hiccup. But barring no disaster, starting pitching's been good. Not the great like the early 2000s, but it's still been fine, and it's picked up ever since after May, or near the end of May. It's been picking up, so that's a good sign. It feels really good to know that the acquisition of Jed Lowry has panned out. I mentioned before, a positive. We have needed a guy that hits for average, but to make that next step, the big issue is the A's need to make a move for a middle infielder. I don't think Eric Sogard, as an everyday second baseman, is going to cut it. They're going to have to make a move either for a shortstop or a second baseman at the deadline. Hopefully we can find a rental, because Lowry luckily can play both positions. We got to have somebody to improve the lineup. I don't know who, and I'm not going to make any names and targets right now, but there's got to be a move made. And the A's, if they want to contend and they want to do something serious, they're going to have to make a move, because the Rangers, will most likely pick up a guy like Matt Garza or some pitcher that they're needing. I know they're hurt. They're going to say they're injured. And, hey, we've had injuries too. Brett Anderson. He's been out for a majority of the year. He was our opening day starter. So, for those who are going to bring up the starting pitching, well, I just said something right there. So, anyways, starting pitching's been good. Bullpen, for the most part, has been lights out. Just a couple hiccups by Ryan Cook and Sean Doolittle on the side. But Grant Balfour, lights out. He's been automatic. I know not everybody can stay perfect, but we've been spoiled by Grant Balfour. And I'm happy to see he'll be in the All-Star game, even if he doesn't play. But Jim Leland was real stupid to snub him. I'm still amazed how they just snubbed him and forgot about him. I guess Tigers, they're good too, and they're great. I'm not going to deny that. But it's really frustrating when the A's had 3 guys who are worthy of an All-Star bid and only 1 gets in when they're a top division team in the American League. I mean, they won 6 consecutive series to end the year, and that includes wins against the Reds, the Pirates, the Cardinals, and now the Red Sox. So I don't want to hear people saying we're getting fat off the Astros. They can't use that anymore. And as I said before, they're going to have to make a move for either a bullpen arm, a middle infielder, or even a catcher. I know they're going to probably ride Norris and Jaso, but there's some problems at catcher defensively. I'm very worried about that going into the second half. So yeah, there you have it. A few things on the AL West. Of course, the Rangers, they're injured. I know they're missing some starters and missing some pitching. I know that's huge for them. Their bats, though, I'm more surprised their bats have some games where they're down, but they're still going to be dangerous. I'm not going to just write them off. Angels, off to a very slow start. I knew their pitching wasn't going to be good in terms of their bullpen, but I did not see their starting pitching be this pathetic. Hey, Angels have some offense on paper, but there are times where the hitting does well and the pitching doesn't, and then in vice versa. You'll see the pitching do well and the hitting doesn't. They are so inconsistent, and thank goodness they're still 4 or 5 games under 500. They still have that potential to make a run. I think they had an 8 or 9 game win streak at one point, but we'll see. They've dug themselves a hole. Divisions are never won in April, but they can be lost. And the first 2 months of the season for the Angels were perfect for anyone who's an A's fan. So, Mariners, still a thorn in our side. Very briefly, the Mariners, I think they got a couple up-and-coming infielders and young guys. They're going to still be dangerous when Felix Hernandez is on the mound, and even Hisashi Iwakuma, good pitching. But they're not doing anything in the big picture. They're just a threat to the A's head-to-head, which is annoying. But some good pitching can defeat the A's, and there just needs to be that one bat to make a difference. Lastly, I'll talk about the Astros. Hey, they can beat the Angels. At least there's something positive with them. They've admitted rebuilding, yet they're still able to hang with the Angels and hang tough with them. So, hey, the Astros, obviously it's been bad for them, but they're not horrible. So, well, actually, sorry, they are. But yeah, the Astros, they're trying to build for the future. So we'll see what happens. But the A's, I've made it very clear they got to make a pickup. The great pitching can shut us down, and that's still an issue. We can beat the middle-of-the-road teams, the good pitchers, but the great pitchers, it's been tough. And we made it through a gauntlet of all these tough games, which included a tough pitching staff against the Pirates. We won some low-scoring games, just out-pitching our opposition. So, real positive. And hopefully Bob Melvin keeps doing what he's doing, because people say it's not always the hardest thing to win and shock the world, but it's to repeat and maintain what you did last year. And the A's have done just that, being 56-39, I believe, at the All-Star break. So, great first half A's, but there's going to need to be some moves. And if we want to do something special this year, we got to make a move. We can't stand pat. So that's about all I got on the A's. I've liked what I've seen for the most part, minus a few players, but we'll see you guys later. Let me know what you guys have thought of this A's season, and it's been exciting. But we'll see what happens. Go A's.